Virgo Rising, these people have a way of always like, man, wanting to be, not always wanting to be right, but it like seems that way. They have a way of wanting to always, outdo everybody, if you know what I mean. They don't want to necessarily, you know, be like flashy about shit, but like that work was done by me. And I did that with everything I had. I made sure that shit like was to the T. You know, your work is nothing like my work. When I do shit, I do it, and people know that I'm the one who did that. There's no question because I put a lot of time and effort in thinking into it. But like, this is a rising sign now too, right? So like, people come to this person and they expect that of the person. Like, they might not actually be like that, but upon looking at this person, they have that kind of like air about them. Like, damn, I kind of thought you would be a little more, um, you would put more thought into what you were doing. I thought you were one of those type of people. I thought you were a person who might, pick at what I'm doing a little more. You kind of have that look about you, you know, of a nitpicker, but you're not. You are, whatever. But over time, you might become that way, you know, because, you're just getting that shit all the time. And you're like, I'm not really a nitpicker, but I am about, because like when somebody brings that shit up to you, then you're like, am I really like? Because then you like, am I really a nitpicker? Am I really like detail oriented about something? And you are. There's something in your life you like that about, and like that's gonna shine through with the rising sign, and then they'll use that as a means to be like, oh, well, you're very detailed about how you know, do this kind of work. You're really, on your shit. Nobody else can. Oh, nobody else can. Do that better than you can. you know, you have that shit locked down. We should come to you if we ever need help with, doing this type of thing, putting this type of, thing together, like physical work, you know, need help building like a house or, a shed or, um, or improving upon something that's already there, and you might not even be that person, but like over time, you just became that because people just put that on you. And you're strong enough to handle that shit. Because another thing with this rising sign too is, like I said, this is the body, right? So you have a physically strong body, a body that's able to, actually become durable and strong, so you can do physical work and enjoy doing it too. Like over time, like you might not like. It's kind of like think about it like a boy or a girl who like always played video games and shit, right? But then like one day with the right, person coming through, they're like, oh, yo, go to the gym. I think that, you can go to the gym. If you go to the gym and stay consistent, you'll look, really good, you know, and you will actually like doing that to keep yourself active. And then over time, that just, become who you are. And then you actually, crafted, you ended up, paying attention to, and health is another thing with this sign too. So you're like, you know, I actually do like myself, and I want to make myself this specific type of build, and like everything specific though too, right? Because it's Virgo rising, and people like that are great, amazing, perfect. But it's an idea, and you kind of understand that as a person who's like that, a rising sign, because you know you're a person that's looked upon for things, but you also know that deep down you do other stuff too. You might like to, run around and fuck around, or you might not want to be a person that's confided in. You know, people want you to do things, but you want to like be the one that's like, I need help, but they're coming to you for help. You know, but just know that if you stay strong and you keep doing what you do, people will take note and they'll know that you are, a person that's of worth, of worth. You know, there's something that you do that, it like defines you. And it's not a bad thing, it's a good thing, something good that you do. And like people know you for that. And like they might not always say it, but, when they look at something that you built or did, or they're like, oh, that was my friend so and so, and they did that. That is the Leo rising sign. Be cool, calm, or try to be.